Welcome into another episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, where the Denver Broncos have now done it. They set their 53-man roster. We'll be watching the waiver wire, see who they get back in, maybe to the practice squad. We got to talk about all the waves, the roster cuts, the 53, and what the Lavelle Bailey is going on. All that next, happening right about now. Gentlemen, welcome in. It's the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network, sponsored by the amazing Morgan Trinkets. My name, as I said in the intro, I'm Keith Brugman. We're in for it, gentlemen. We're in for it. It's a four-horseman show, and we're talking about the 53-man roster. We had predictions not that long ago. We had them all up on the screen. Kenny was the only one that wasn't present, so we'll get some ideas and thoughts from him, especially as we break this down this evening. Can't wait to get it started. I'm going to say hello to the judge first. How are you doing, Judge?
Doing good. We're basically a week and a half away from real football, and hopefully we can put the woes of the offense on preseason behind us, and hopefully come out firing on all cylinders. And excited for this. Is my favorite time of the year, so let's go.
This is it, man. This is it. The woes of a 3-0 undefeated, one of only 4 teams to do it in the preseason Denver Broncos team.
Can they be that big of a woes when you were when you were number one in offense and defense in preseason?
I'm just saying, man, the woes continue. The woes do not continue. We're going to go say hello to Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. Hello, Kenny.
Hello, and I want to say hello to everybody in the posse, and I'm going to say a big shout out to everybody's friend Michael Ronquillo, who's starting us out right out of the gate with 100 stars, saying good evening, Keith, Trevor, Jody, and Kenny. Go Bo Broncos, with the blue and orange hearts and the salute emoji as well. Everybody's friend Michael Ronquillo, thank you so much. Hey, we watched it today. We're trimming down the rosters, 53-man, but there's even bigger news that's great for the Broncos, in my opinion, because now the Broncos are a little under the radar. Travis Kelce engaged to Taylor Swift. Go ahead and beat a media circus over there going into week 1, and let's go. Broncos under the radar. The Raiders with Ashton Genty, perfect for the Broncos to fall under the radar headed into week 1 now. And let all that media hype go. Let all the talk be with the Chiefs for the next week and a half to 2 weeks when the season starts. Let's go, Broncos. Great day for Broncos all around. Let's go.
Well, before I say any more hellos to the posse members, I will say hello to Trevor, the Rocket Man Salzman, who I thought would be the first to bring up Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift because he's a big Swiftie. I know this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anytime I'll bring them up, regardless. Just name the players, Keith, and I'll bring them up. But, no, I mean, we want to celebrate the Broncos roster, but we also got to feel for those players that unfortunately may never get a chance to play in the NFL again. Their dreams have kind of, some of their dreams have kind of gone away. So I feel for those guys today. I feel for those guys that got cut today as well. It's never a great day for them. For fans and for football teams, of course it is. But for players, it's a sad day for them. And hopefully the guys that got released today are going to find jobs around the league.
Roughly 1,184 players are out there on waivers or been released in some capacity as of today. one fell swoop. They used to do it in stages, gentlemen, but now the axe is heavy, man. It comes down. It comes down hard. We'll be talking about those that it came down on for the Denver Broncos. And as Kenny brought up in the chat in the background, of course, we're going to be talking about maybe ones to be looking out for on the waiver wire as well. But I got to say hello to Posse members. It's what we're all about. We love that we have such a strong community. We love that you guys come in here and you rock the comments. And by golly, I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. And you guys are just lighting it up. Paul was in here early saying, "What's up, Bronco brothers and sisters? Appreciate you so much." Paul coming in over on YouTube, as well as Rodney Garcia coming in here. He was early as well. He says, "I heard we are wearing the throwbacks week 1. I had not gotten into the throwbacks news, Rodney. I would be fine if that was week 1 through 17. I think most Broncos country would be, but I'd be fine with week 1 right out the gate as well. Go Broncos country only. Hello, Keith and friends, says Mr. Ernie Mays over on the Facebook, the Book of Faces, as I like to say. And Mr. Roy Osborne, good evening. And good evening to, I guess, us and the posse. Good evening and the posse, he says. And we already hit Michael Ronquillo, but Graham has come in saying, let's go. Frank Crum, yes, some Frank Crum fans out there. We're obviously very happy with today's news. And our good sponsor, Miss Pearl. Miss Pearl and Morgan Trinkets in here talking as well. Miss Pearl, she'll be over in Red Feather Lake. And then over in Greeley, we'll be talking about that in the next coming weeks. Can't wait to talk about that a little bit later. Mr. Phil McLaughlin, though, came in. And he came in dropping stars as well, man. I got to get to him. He's right there in the queue. But finally gotten to, because you guys are lighting it up. Good evening, Keith, Kenny, Rocket Man, and the judge. Wow, some surprises. But we have the 53. Go Broncos, man. We also have 200 stars from Phil McLaughlin, man. Appreciate you, buddy, in here rocking it with us and supporting us. Again, one of those longtime members, and appreciate all the support you bring to the show. Dave's coming in here. Hello, Keith and company. 23-0, says Dave. He's giving us the orange and blue hearts as well, giving us a mile high salute. Man, 23-0, you know what that means, gentlemen. That's a Super Bowl. Thank you so much, Dave, for coming in here. I was just making sure I wasn't missing any new names coming in here, like young Tyrone coming in here and saying, let's go. We have Peter Johnson in here coming and saying, great point, Kenny. I'm sick of hearing the media talk about how good the Denver Broncos are supposed to be. Let's play small ball and finally see what this team is made of. And Victor's in here as well. Just in, we released Josie Jewell again. Victor, good to see you, my friend. Y'all are blowing it up so much. You blew the judge right off the screen. I got to bring him back in. Gentlemen, I'll go opposite way around the horn. Trevor, give me one thought, one headline, one thing that we absolutely need to get started on this evening as you see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, I mean, there's some people even in the posse that are talking about how the waiver wire and players release work. So they're completely different. I mean, the waiver wire is over 24-hour period or less to when teams can put their waiver claims in for players. After that, and then they're allowed to sign with teams. Just flat out release, like Sam Ellinger, Calvin Throckmorton, they're just released. So there's no waiver claims that need to be in for those guys. They can just be signed right out to the practice squad. So it takes a little bit longer for those waiver claims to kind of go through and whatnot. But just flat out release, these guys can sign immediately back with Denver onto the practice squad. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind when we're talking about release and waivers. And these guys being waived, they're two totally different things. So I know some people, I want to kind of clarify that first and foremost for some people. But Keith, I also do have some news on a player that did get released. That would be Sam Franklin Jr., the safety that the Broncos signed from the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, he's a special teamer there for a long time. He will not be returning to the Denver Broncos at all. He was flat out released. He's exploring other options, and this report is by Luca Evans of the Denver Post. So want to kind of get that out there right now. It's one player that will not be back in Denver.
Yeah, we talked about Sam Franklin a little bit. He obviously was passed up. We didn't see a whole lot of Sam Franklin playing time or plays that were outstanding. That's for certain. Sorry as I stumble. But the money that we spent to go out and get a free agent, we never like to see that just cut, released, and back out the door. It's one of the reasons we thought that he had more of a potential to make this roster as he first came onto it. But in the end, he does not end up making this roster. Michael Ronquillo, the waiver wire is going to be the 2023 draft order. Tennessee Titans get the first dibs, and the waiver wire and the Philadelphia Eagles get the last pick in the waiver wire. Also keeping in mind trades don't count and the like. It's just really how you ranked at the end of the year. So, if you stacked up your picks in the first round, it's not how that works on the waiver wire. Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick around the horn. It's something that we need to get to as this 53-man roster was released today.
So I think we need to get to see. I think we're going to see at least 2 pickups from the Broncos, and I think we need to point out some of the bigger names that were released that the Broncos could take advantage of. I know I've seen one in the chat. I don't want to lose it. It's the linebackers. So I got it written down, Keith, when we're ready to talk about it. So
if that's what you want to talk about, my friend, then that's what you want to talk about. That's what I'm saying. That's the big one.
Big one was Lavelle Bailey. We all thought he was going to make the team. He got released. Okay. That's my opinion. We all thought he was going to make the team. He did enough, in our opinions, to make this team. He gets released. I see 2 big names. Rodney pointed one out. Chad Muma got released from Jacksonville, 3rd round pick out of Jody's college there, Wyoming. And Isaiah Simmons also got released, has ties with Vance Joseph in the past from his days in Arizona. 2 names to watch out for to see if the Broncos want to maybe upgrade, maybe at linebacker with a backup. They kept Drew Sanders as well. I know Keith was in the chat. He's going to blow that up in a couple minutes, I'm sure. I'll pass that along to Keith when he wants to talk about Drew Sanders. But linebackers are kind of weak after Greenlaw and Singleton. So I think the Broncos are going to hit the waiver wire and go pick up one of those 2 guys or somebody else.
There you go, man. There you go. And pretty. I think shocking would probably be the best word for most people when it came to the news that Lavelle Bailey didn't make this roster. I'm going to head on over to Jody, man. Blow it up. What do you got, man? What's your big topic that hasn't been hit on already?
My big one is Michael Burton. I mean, he's on season-ending IR, getting his hamstring surgery. He is done for the season, and Denver did not keep a fullback. Sean Payton is one of the few guys that carries a fullback. Nate Atkins is going to start this. I mean, he's on the 53, but he's probably going to miss at least the first couple games, I would guess, before he's back. So it'll be interesting to see what do they try to go pick up a fullback, what they do there, and how does that affect the run game or lack of it so far.
Yeah, gentlemen, I think you're all right on point with everything that you've been talking about. One, we need to keep in mind exactly how this works. Appreciate that, Trevor. I think sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, and those release players. There's a lot of times sometimes they're released a little bit early in order to make sure that they can get out there and they can go to whatever team they want, because this team isn't going to utilize them. I don't know where Isaiah Simmons came in, if they was waived or released, but that might, a veteran player like that is a great example of someone that is sometimes put out there onto the market, and given that opportunity, if you don't want to be, again, stuck to a team or in the waiver wire per se, you can just go out and sign wherever you like. 7 defensive linemen. That was the one for me. I guess you could talk that in regards to Lavelle Bailey and the like, but obviously Zach Allen, and we had Jordan Jackson basically backing him up. We have DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach, John Franklin Myers, and Owazurike and Savion Jones. They basically all made it, gentlemen. I heard somebody talk about that being how deep this defensive line is, But at the same time, there's really not that many new names on this list from where we were at last year. It's not like we had added a lot of depth and everyone's envious of our depth, I believe. It's one of the reasons I thought that we could possibly let one of these names sneak through to the waiver or being released and brought to the practice squad. But they all made it, gentlemen. They all made it. It's a deep room. It's a deep, deep room. May have cost Kenny's Sam Ellinger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kenny, no Sam Ellinger. I got to dig you on that one.
You got to give, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos go out and sign a third-string quarterback to bring into their practice squad. Couple names: Tommy DeVito from the Giants, Bailey Zappi from got released, Jake Hayner, Saints. These are some names that have been backup quarterbacks and have had some playing starts in the NFL as well. So some names to keep an eye out for to see if the Broncos want to bring somebody in. But because carrying only 2 quarterbacks is kind of risky in my opinion. So
I will say I do think that they will bring back Sam Ellinger. He was the last player released today, so that tells me that it was really difficult for Sean Payton just to let him go. He was released, so he wasn't waived, so they can immediately sign him whenever they want. It just the biggest question becomes with Sam Ellinger, can the Broncos persuade him to come back to the practice squad, or will another team try to do so? But I think that the Broncos, if the Broncos had their choice today, they would bring back Sam Ellinger back on the practice squad.
Will Caleb Lohner clear waivers? Jody, you've been a little bit quiet as everyone else has taken over the mic. I want you to answer this one. I got maybe 2 back-to-back for you, actually, because there's a little bit of fullback talk in there as well I want to get to.
I think Sean Payton thinks he'll clear waivers, or they would have kept him. I mean, it looks bad if you choose any sort of draft pick on him and then release him and don't get him back, at least on the practice squad. So I think Sean Payton has a pretty good idea that they'll be able to get him back in, off waivers. So, or he'll clear waivers and he'll be able to be brought back.
And Michael Ronquillo pointing out that not just Caleb Lohner, but Caden Prescorn, also waived by the Denver Broncos. That deep, deep tight end room that we have, we can just afford to waive. But, I got to crown a champion over here. I think I was the only one that had Lucas Kroll as the tight end that would be brought on to the 53. I think Lucas Kroll, a lot of people maybe just saw it right at the end of that preseason game, as he started to look a little bit better. But all throughout practice, training camp, in practice, he's been looking better. He's been looking a lot better this year, and it's the reason that he was once again protected onto the 53-man roster. It'll be interesting if Caleb Lohner and Prescorn make it all the way through. Looking at that waiver wire and looking at tight ends out there, if we wanted to add any, it's a little bit rough out there, man. If you're up for a Greg Dulcich or an Albert O, I'll just say O, so I'm not sound like.
Can I interject for 1 second?
Yes.
Graham asked that question at the beginning of the show. Greg Dulcich. For those who don't know, I am a Giants fan. Led all tight ends in touchdowns in the preseason and played meaningful minutes with Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston. He wasn't fourth quarter touchdowns. Led all tight ends in preseason. Greg Dulcich. I'll go around and I'll ask the posse. Greg Dulcich or Lucas Kroll? Keith, I'll start with you.
Lucas Kroll all day long. I'll take the possibility of, an upward projectile, compared to where I saw just a steady to flat line to almost downward trend from Greg Dulcich too long, man. I can't go backwards, man. I got to go forward.
Fair enough. Trevor.
Yeah, Lucas Kroll. I mean, we have to remember how things ended with Greg Dulcich. I mean, he was benched by Sean Payton. I don't think that's a guy that Sean Payton's going to welcome back with open arms. He never say never, of course, but I just don't see Greg Dulcich back in the Denver Bronco uniform.
And before I go to Jody, surprisingly released by the Giants. He was released. And Jody, you going with Kroll over Dulcich?
Yeah, I'm going Kroll. Denver needs blocking tight ends. I think Evan Ingram you might as well just classify him as a wide receiver, and you need blocking tight ends, and I think Kroll fits that a lot more than Greg Dulcich. So,
see, that's why I asked the Bronco fans, because I would go Greg Dulcich from what I've seen out of preseason from him watching the Giant games. Receiver, he's had bad luck in Denver, hurt.
Kenny, your internet is killing me.
But I'm going to take Greg Dulcich over Kroll. I'll be the odd man out. And I was a Lucas Kroll fan.
You were a Lucas Kroll fan. I'm not a fan of your internet, though, man, because you're locking up and freezing up like crazy, Kenny. Like crazy. I'm telling you. I'm going to pass this one over to Trevor, the Rocket Man Salzman. I'm going to play this a little bit different. Biggie Bronco comes in with a question. He says, what player from another team that got cut, released, whatever it happens to be, waived, do you want the Broncos picking up? I'll also put this one caveat on this. I want that name as we come around, and I want, would you rather have that or somebody that was cut, waived, or released from the Denver Broncos? I'll start with you, Trevor.
That's a good one. I mean, I do. Isaiah Simmons intrigues me because he's always intrigued me since he's came out of the draft. I would be very intrigued with that. But the thing is, though, if you're going to get a player, you're going to have to cut another player. So that's, I mean, there's a full 53-man roster right now. So I would start in, I mean, I'll give you position because right now we're still kind of going through, I mean, I'm still kind of going through some of the players that were released today and waived today by other teams. But I think Isaiah Simmons, like Kenny mentioned earlier, would definitely be a name that I would watch out for. Has that connection with Vance Joseph as well when Vance Joseph was with the Cardinals. So something to kind of keep an eye on. Vance Joseph has brought over former Cardinals in the past with Zach Allen, bringing him over to Denver as well. So he has a part in that. So Isaiah Simmons could definitely be on the table for this team if they make a move. But I'm going to be honest, and I might be a Debbie Downer with this one. I don't know that Denver makes any moves. I really don't. I mean, when I say that, like, unless somebody surprisingly hits the waiver wire, I don't think this team's aggressively going out there and going to go pick somebody up. They have a full 53-man roster for a reason, and I think they plan to stick pretty much with the guys they have right now.
I don't think that's a crazy take. When you look at the percentages, it's roughly about 3%. That equals out to be like 35, 36 players. That's a little over one per team. You know, if you're not the one team that doesn't pick one up and a few other teams pick up a couple, it equals out pretty quickly. You know, it's literally just a little over one per team that you're going to go out there and take somebody that you didn't have originally and pull them from a different roster where they're waived or released and bring them over onto your roster. Doesn't happen that often. Could be that the Broncos go without. I'll go over to Kenny Kirkpatrick and give this a try, Kenny.
Let's see if I'm not going to be glitchy this time. I apologize.
No, you're fine, my friend.
I'm going with Trevor. Isaiah Simmons, because of his ties with Vance Joseph, that would be the only guy. Otherwise, your roster's set. If Vance Joseph says Isaiah Simmons will make our defense better, you go get him. If he doesn't, you keep the roster the way it is.
I like it. I like Karen coming in his way. Hello, Karen. We haven't. We're saying hello to everybody as they're coming in, at least trying to recognize everybody. But a player, Jody, the judge, that you would like to maybe target out there that has been waived or released. And how would you weigh that against a player that's been waived or released by the Denver Broncos?
I'm on board with everyone else. Isaiah Simmons was the guy for me. He was drafted to the Cardinals when VJ was the DC there. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he can play, the rover, safety, the linebacker type. We need help at inside linebacker. So that would be one, and I would say he's probably an upgrade over. He's probably not. If he play, I don't know if he plays special teams or not, but if he plays special teams, he's probably an upgrade over Reed, and so he would be the one guy for me. Now, the one guy I think that Denver very well might target because he's a Sean Payton guy, and I hope they don't, but is little Jordan Humphreys. It sounded like he had bulked up a little or put weight on, and I could see him moving into that backup third tight end, and Kroll maybe gets the axe or something. I mean, he was your number 2 snap guy at wide receiver last year. You can't discount that. He likes to block, and he likes to block. So,
yeah, it would be wild to exit a Devon Vele to bring in a little Jordan Humphreys, but like you said, it is a Sean Payton guy. You know, we're all hyped. I mean, I don't know about you, Broncos country, but I'm hyped about where this team is heading. You know, and it seemed like with the exiting of Devon Vele, it really said, hey, we're letting the youth ride this with this team. We're going with the young Bo Nix in this league. We're going with the young Troy Franklin. You know, we're going with the young Pat Bryant. These are the type of guys that we're going to put on the field, and really we're going with the young Marvin Mims. You know, these are the people that we're going to lead us this year and into the future. So, man, it sure would feel like a backpedal, and not a good one, like by a cornerback, but a backpedal. To go out and get a little Jordan Humphreys and bring him in here. I really like the idea of moving forward and not going that direction. But it brings up a great point, man. And Michael Ronquillo's not on board.
you know, we all mentioned a linebacker, but I did hear this stat today. When Denver was in nickel and dime, there was a lot of the times they had one linebacker on the field. And, you know, if that's the case, you don't need 4 or 5 linebackers. You can rotate in Singleton, Greenlaw, keep them fresh. I think you're going to see a lot of Jahdae Barron and McMillan on the field at the same time. So, base defense, I don't think base is really going to be our starting defense. I think you're going to be in nickel and dime probably 80% of the time, in my opinion. So,
of course, it's your opinion.
But that's where Isaiah Simmons fits the role, bringing somebody in. Because
when you get one of those hybrid type of guys, Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Penny, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut off either.
You've seen him with the Giants last year. Why does he not stick around, or what does he not do well? What's he on his 4th team?
Well, I can answer that.
Go ahead.
I can answer that as a Giants fan. I think it depends on the scheme of the defense. Under Wink Martindale's defense, Isaiah Simmons was great. But with our coordinator now, Shane Bowen, his defense is more, you know, Wink Martindale was more blitzing and throwing everything at you. Shane Bowen is rush the quarterback with your front 4. And there's Isaiah Simmons dropping into coverage a lot. As they were using him as a nickel back, cornerback, and just using him all over the place. And I just don't think he fit with Shane Bowen. I think with Vance Joseph, who he was drafted by with the Cardinals, I think Isaiah Simmons could maybe find a spot on this Broncos defense.
I look at it this way, man. And this is why Isaiah Simmons would probably make a good fit. I think if you look at this defense, and if Vance Joseph's really constructing what he wants, right? And all of a sudden you have a Talanoa Hufanga who is flying around out there, hair on fire, literally, because his hair is hanging out the back of his helmet. Dre Greenlaw, running around, crazy man, hair on fire. It's the type of defense. It reminds me of, like, not to go back, but the Troy Polamalu type of Pittsburgh Steelers type of defense, or just those wide open, free type of defenses. Does Isaiah Simmons fit that? Yes. Has he always been able to be in a defense like that? I don't think so. I don't even think when he was in Arizona, because I don't think they had the personnel around Isaiah Simmons in order for him to be freed up like that. And when he was in New York, didn't have that opportunity. The nice thing about coming to a Denver Broncos team, especially a Denver Broncos defense right now, is you're going to be able to come onto this team and they're going to put you where you need to be for what you do specifically very well. If that fits Isaiah Simmons and that fits the Denver Broncos and it's mutual, it's the get. It's the get right there, in my opinion. I couldn't disagree with you. I like Isaiah Abakananda. He was released also by the Green Bay Packers. He was a prospect of mine. Their linebacker that a lot of people know of out of Colorado State, Kamara. He was actually released as well. Outside linebacker, though, I don't know what he would do for the Denver Broncos. Trying to go out there and scrub, but it's there's a reason there's only 3%. There's a reason only like 35 players on average get picked up, because there's not a ton of great players out there that you don't want over your own. I'd much rather get Lavelle Bailey back onto the 53 or onto the practice squad or rearrange that in some way than lose out on a Lavelle Bailey, let's say. If I'm going through and it's coming down the waiver wire and it's Lavelle Bailey or Israel Abakananda, I'm telling you right now, it's Lavelle Bailey all day long. It's just the way it is. So,
well, and I think Isaiah Simmons. Sorry, Keith. I know
go ahead, man.
You break. Isaiah Simmons. I think he's got a little overhyped. I just his coverage ability isn't as good as I think what was once projected of him, and that's why he's not really been able to kind of stick around the NFL. He's been on quite a few teams. That's concerning for me. So I probably going against what I said a little bit ago. I don't know that now that I think about it, I'm not sure that Isaiah Simmons is the kind of player I would target, just because multiple teams, multiple seasons now, his coverage ability just isn't what you're looking for. Right now, you have Justin Strnad. If you need a guy to step in, he can step in and be your inside linebacker for a couple games. I'm not saying a full season, but I think for me, Dre Greenlaw, Alex Singleton, it don't matter. Those guys have to step up. They have to be on the field this year, because you can't afford for those guys to go down. But if so, Justin Strnad can be that guy that can step in and be that starter. Reed, he's more or less a special teams guy this year, and so that's why he's made this roster over Lavelle Bailey, special teams. So I think, again, Dre Greenlaw got to be healthy. I think the Broncos have confidence that him and Alex Singleton will be healthy this season.
I do have a quick question. Everyone brought up linebacker. Is Dre Greenlaw on a snap count to start the season, or is he full go for everyone?
He better be full go. It's not like we have a whole lot of options to start deferring to at this point, man. It's what we brought him in here for, So for me, I think you're expecting everything out of Dre Greenlaw. I think you can't really start off on a snap count. Time to go. Fast start.
Yeah, I agree, especially since he hasn't played and been on the field all preseason long. Really, since he's been a Bronco, he hasn't been on the field much. A couple practices here and there, but I think that he's just needs to go in and play. That's the best way to get the rust off. Going in and play, not on the snap count or anything like that.
Yeah, and he's going to be your play caller on defense. He's got to be not on a snap count at any means.
Snap count is when you get into the fourth quarter and you have such a big lead that you can just be like, "Hey, Dre Greenlaw, go ahead, come off the field for a little bit. Let's get somebody else out there. You get a little bit of time out there." We got a little bit of time right now. Going to hit the break and talk about our fantastic sponsor. That's Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets has been your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices for over 34 years. Once a nationwide company, now they're hanging out in your backyard. That's northern Colorado. That's southern Wyoming. They're going to be at Red Feather Lake, I believe, this weekend. And then off to the Greeley Dog Show after that. Be looking for them at those two locations. But hey, if you can't get out there, if they're not necessarily in your backyard, it's okay. We got you all taken care of. Head on over to Etsy, type in Morgan Trinkets Co. It's right over the top of Jody's face right now. Don't worry about it. Morgan Trinkets Co. over on Etsy. And there you are. You see everything that Morgan Trinkets has to offer, including silver, sterling silver, 100% sterling silver. They've got that too. All orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free. All major credit cards are accepted. Check out Morgan Trinkets. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. Haven't found one person who has been disappointed. So there you go. Check them out today.
Can I throw one out, Keith, real quick?
Yes, my friend.
It's from Rodney, because I had this on my mind too. So we're thinking alike, Rodney. He wanted to know if any punters were waived. You know me, I've been the biggest Jeremy Crawshaw guy heading into the draft, post-draft, into preseason. He struggled a little bit. The 49ers waived Thomas Morstead. How short is Jeremy Crawshaw's leash with Thomas Morstead out there? Is my question to you guys in the posse. I'll go Keith first.
Me first, man. It feels like I'm jumping in on all of these. I'll say it's a long leash. I think that this is your one opportunity as a special teams coach to really draft and develop, and you've just drafted a guy as a punter. You need to let him develop. So I'm going to say long leash.
Okay, Jody?
Long leash for me as well. Is basically everything Keith said. I mean, you used a 6th-round draft pick on this guy. I mean, you've already cut your 7th-round pick, and now your 6th-round pick's on a short lease. That's not a good look. You got to give him time to work out the kinks. Hopefully, we don't see him very often, and it's a moot point. So,
and Trevor, you agree as well?
Yeah, I think they'll keep Croshaw. Sean Payton already said it today, but I think that could change down the line if Croshaw isn't developing like the way that he possibly could. And I believe Ryan Stonehouse is out there available, so that'd be a name that I would look out for if they're looking for a punter down the line and Croshaw don't work out. But again, I think that they're going to develop him the best they possibly can this season.
Yeah, and Michael alluded to it too, that Sean Payton said Crawshaw is going to be a punter. Just a quick one. I saw Rodney put it out there. I was questioning it too because I was a big Jeremy Crawshaw guy. I think he'll be fine, but when you're a team that is definitely a playoff contender and some say in Super Bowl contender, my punter's struggling 2-3 weeks in and costing us field position and maybe even a game, there's a short leash on him. I'm sorry. I like you, Jeremy. I love you. I hope you succeed, and I think you will. But you know, we're trying to win a Super Bowl here, and if you're struggling, I'm looking on the waiver wire 2-3 weeks in. I'm not.
We're punting that much, man. If we're punting that much, I got a lot of concerns, Kenny. Hopefully, I see Crawshaw like maybe once a game, you know,
right,
and it's meaningless. No, I'm just saying, man.
No, I know.
mean, with the projections of where this team should be, right? We're talking about things like that. Maybe 1-2 punts a game. You know, he only has a couple of opportunities to really mess up, and how much does it hurt you? Now, when you're a team that's really struggling and you're punting all the time, and your punter is hurting you on top of it, we're not in this, but I don't know.
Sorry, Keith, your mic was cutting. Now we barely heard you.
Sorry, man.
Now you're good.
Okay.
Anyway, just a quick one for you guys. Sorry.
I would say his leash would be a lot shorter if he wasn't a 6th-round pick.
I would agree with that as well.
But I'm still hopefully we don't see him, but this offense still worries the crap out of me going into this season. I'm sorry, it still does. I'll be that kind of person to say that's just what it is. I love where the defense is at right now. The offense, they've got to figure it out. I mean, it can't be like this if you're going to win playoff games.
Number 1 offense in preseason.
Third stringers and backups.
All right. The debate will rage on that one. And I'll be honest, I had a little bit of concerns in the last preseason game as they came out, and then they got going, and it seemed like things were working. And I understand it's about backups, and there's not everyone else out there. I'm just saying it takes a little bit of time to knock off some rust. It takes some time to get antiquated to a new system, new players. You know, he's never thrown to Evan Ingram in a game before. We haven't been running the wide zone concept. It's obviously kicking some butt. You know, I don't think we're, as Jody has alluded to, at least in the back chat, I don't think we're seeing all of it right now, obviously in the preseason. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, especially number 1 offense, number 1 defense, call it what you will. Things are starting to click out there in some regard, better than other teams.
Oh, yeah, I'm willing to give it some time, too. It's just still a concern for me going into this season. I got to see more from this offense. I mean, we've seen a short sample size of this offense, how they were. And going positive note, last preseason game, they're able to score some points and put some points on the board, move the football. So that's positive for sure. But just going into the season, I think it may get off to a slow start, but hopefully at the end of the season, or in at least the middle part of the season anyway, they start figuring out and starts clicking. I don't expect this offense to go out there and score 40 points week 1. I think that they can slowly, gradually get there. I will take that.
Zach's chiming in on this. And let me I just want to get one point across on this, and we can jump to something else. I have no problem. If you guys have a topic or an idea, or the posse, you have a topic or an idea that we need to get to, please, by all means, hit it. But for me, and Zach saying, gents, Peyton wasn't showing his actual plays, but the plus you'd find on Madden. this is where I go. Is that yes? I know we're not seeing all of it, but at the same time, we need to see some. I don't know, some consistency, some gains when you're on the 1-1. You want to see everything kind of come around and the rust get knocked off and everyone get on the same page to feel good about going in and starting off hot. And it's really tough to say, okay, we're not going to show everything, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, and then we're just going to turn it on, and everything's going to just work. It's the reason that honestly, the first couple of weeks of football can be some of the ugliest or some of the highest scoring games you'll see. But if we want to take off, and we want to take off right, we gotta be clicking. I got to agree in some regard that even with the basics, you would have liked to seen a little bit better execution on both sides of the ball with the ones, especially to start off. I'll give you that. I digress.
I do have a question. How important is J.K. Dobbins after what you've seen from Harvey this preseason? Is he like one of the most important pieces of this offense? Because what I've seen with Harvey, I didn't really like that much, really, to be honest.
Not me, so I'll go to Kenny.
Very important, right? Very important to start the season because RJ Harvey's a rookie, and some rookies need time to develop into the season. We're expecting RJ Harvey to take over that role, but he might not be ready week 1 for that role. So J.K. Dobbins is very important to start the season. And, as the season progresses, I hope he's not as important. But to start the season, Jody, very, very important for J.K. Dobbins to get off to a fast start, in my opinion.
Trevor.
Yep, I would agree. I think J.K. Dobbins needs to. I mean, hopefully he plays close to a full season, but you kind of know what you're going to get with him. He's going to play, and the start of the season. You're hoping R.J. Harvey starts developing as a running back and start being better in pass pro, so then he can take over and be the guy. Because we have to keep this in mind. He was a second-round draft pick. He's got to see the field, regardless. You picked him high. You picked him above a lot of other running backs that were good in pass pro. So you definitely believe in his explosiveness enough to. He's got to see the field. He's a running back. Running backs have a shorter leash. He's going to have a shorter leash. Look at Estime. You want an example of it? He got waived. 2 seasons? And after that, he's waived. I mean, it's just you got to be able to. I should say after 1 season, actually,
One season.
Yeah, 1 season he got waived. So it just goes to show the leash for running backs. I know Estime was a 5th-round pick, but we're talking about Harvey, who's a 2nd-round pick. He's got to be able to improve in the pass, being a pass blocker, because that's what Sean Payton wants in his offense. I think the Broncos thought when they drafted him, they can absolutely get that and develop that in his game. It's just going to be up to him is can he be that running back for this team? J.K. Dobbins isn't supposed to be this team's running back for the long term. It's supposed to be R.J. Harvey.
Can I add one other question to that? Do you think that was a lot of the problems with the pass game because they were featuring Harvey so much and he's not there yet in pass pro, where a solid running back can settle some of that down in pass pro?
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
I'm an RJ Harvey fan. I was pretty much disappointed in RJ Harvey, not just in the pass blocking situation, but in his running. I think that he left a lot on the table, and it'll be interesting to see. Now, again, I think this wide zone scheme and the offensive line didn't necessarily help him all the time, but boy, I mean, I think there's still a lot of progress to be made. So kind of circling back to the question that I said, not me, these 2 guys, I think J.K. Dobbins might be a lot bigger of an impact, especially in the first few weeks until hopefully R.J. Harvey comes around sooner rather than later and can take over and take the horns, because that is the future. I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, and then for me, I think that I wouldn't blame the offensive woes on Harvey because he's a rookie trying to find his footing. I mean, this is his first game action in the NFL. It's one thing you can say this, training camp and all this other stuff, practices with other teams and whatnot, and full pads. I get that. But in game, experience, you can't beat that. And I think with RJ Harvey being in game, I think getting that playing time, being on the field, I'm not going to be too harsh on him with the results. You want to see more, of course, but he's just getting his feet wet. I want to give him time to kind of get his feet wet during the regular season. Hopefully he ends up really trickling on down and just becoming a better running back, all-around running back in general. That will be best for his game going forward. But I don't just blame the offensive woes on Harvey.
All right. I'm going to just throw this out here. It's a complete flip the subject. And I'm just going to – you guys can join along if you wish. Most surprising player that made the 53 for me, inside linebacker Kareem Reed, and I think I'm even saying that wrong. I forget how he pronounces his first name, and if you have a better pronunciation, by all means. But that was the one, right? That was the one. As much as he showed out, and I'm telling you what, being there for a couple of training camp practices, he did look good. And he looked pretty good in preseason action, but I just thought that was a guy that you might be able to sneak through. That was a surprise player that made it for the 53. Kenny, you've been quiet. I'm gonna hit you.
Well, my surprise guy is a guy that I supported in the past, Lucas Krull, because in my opinion, he did not have a good preseason. And, all it took was, Caleb Lohner, Caden Prescorn are the rookies, developmental guys. They chose to go with the veteran. I was a little surprised by that. Caleb Lohner is the 7th round pick. They're hoping he clears waivers. That one surprised me. But I would have agreed with you on Reed, but to go a little different, I'll go Lucas Krull surprised me.
Very good. Judge, I'll hit you, man.
No, I'll agree with you. I think Reed was the surprise over Bailey for me. Other than that, it was pretty well chalk for me. I mean, I had Estime over McLaughlin, but that's not really a surprise to me. I guess they're not really a player, but they didn't keep a fullback, and I'm surprised at that. And it'll be interesting to see if they go get one or what they do there.
Karini Reed. Thank you, Graham. Appreciate it for the phonetical spelling. Do we steal all your thunder, Trevor? It's to you, my friend. No,
I think for me, it's they kept as many tackles as they did, and I know they're a little higher on Frank Crum than maybe I am. But I mean, you really don't have a guard right now. I mean, other than Alex Forsyth to back up these guys. I mean, I would have thought this team would at least kept one backup guard. Calvin Throckmorton was also released, so just a little surprising, I guess. All the tackles they were keeping. I mean, you got Pert, you got Crum, you got Palczewski, but you didn't keep really much interior at all. I mean, other than Forsyth. So Forsyth's going to be that guy that's going to have to kind of pivot to center and guard. I mean, that's just kind of what you're telling me there. So that was a little surprising. I mean, I know they're really high on Frank Crum. I would have loved to have heard what the draft capital would have been for a guy like Frank Crum, because Sean Payton has said that teams were calling on Frank Crum. I would have loved to have heard and seen what kind of draft picks were kind of being thrown out there for a guy like Frank Crum.
Do you buy that they had that many suitors for Frank Crum?
Ooh. I think that's some because of I think that his upside is absolutely there. He has the size, he has the upside that you want. The problem is he's very raw. He's like Caleb Lohner. He's a little raw in there, and I think that for me, them holding on to him this long, 2 years in a row now, makes you wonder. Like Mike McGlinchey starts kind of fizzling out. Is that a guy that they would try to plug in on the right side? I mean, that's just something that it just really kind of throws me. I don't buy that it's like a ton of teams, but I think some teams probably for sure were throwing offers at the Broncos for Frank Crum. I don't think it was a ton, but I would say like probably 6 5th-round picks if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of smoke, with Sean Payton. I don't think this is one you want to get caught on, so I think this is one where it's probably got a little bit of truth, a little bit of bite to it. Kenny, you said that in the private chat you had a question you wanted to throw out there, man. This might be a great way to start rounding out our show. As the 53-man roster has been set, we're all going to be sitting there waiting on pins and needles, talking about some practice squad, and be looking forward to that in the next 24 hours or so. Yeah,
so it's a good hurry up question. We always got the hurry up, but
oh wait, what'd you say?
It's the hurry up.
Let's go.
you just can't throw it out there and me not do that.
My
Go ahead, my
question's gonna
friend.
be for everybody, and I'll start with Trevor. Point spreads have came out, and the Broncos are the biggest favorite this week. Week 1 against the Titans, 7.5-point favorite. My question to you guys in the posse: what has you most concerned with the Broncos heading into that game, that they don't turn into the Bengals last year who lost to the Patriots? For me, it's the run game. Get that run game going. Simple.
Yeah, for me, it might be overlooking the Titans. I mean, in general, I mean, they hopefully these players. I don't think they are, but that's your concern. Is there maybe are they overlooking their opponent? Maybe their opponent's a little bit better than what the Broncos give them credit for. That would be my biggest concern. Like, this is not going to be no easy win. It's going to be a tough battle. Every team in the NFL is a tough battle. You got to go out there. You got to play your best ball. So for me, overlooking the Titans and maybe Cam Ward. I mean, I know Cam Ward. He's going to, I think, struggle a little bit out the gate just because he's rookie season. But, he might come in and he might be whipping it around, I mean, as well. I mean, you just really got to open your eyes to different outlooks. And so you're just hoping that this team's going to be prepared and ready to go and not play their best ball, I should say, at home in week 1.
Keith, next.
I'll just go 4 letters then. R-U-S-T, man. It's all about knocking off that rust in the first few weeks. And the Denver Broncos seem like they might have a few scales that they still need to knock off, as well as, get everything implemented in maybe a newer system they're not quite ready to play yet. Anything can happen in these first few weeks, man. So knocking off the rust and getting that run game going, man. I mean, that's what you live on in these first few weeks.
So Jody, we got a couple run games. We got overlooking. What are you going, Jody, to wrap up the question?
For me, it's the run game. I need to see this run game take off, and I don't care if it's Beatty, Harvey, Dobbins. I don't care who it is. I need to see somebody, get carries, and I need to see I need to see Sean Payton commit to it, and if it's working, continue to stay with it. And if that means Bo Nix is 10 for 15 for 150 yards and we run for 250, so be it.
We had Dan saying start off fast is his biggest concern. So get off to a fast start. He wants to see a fast
I do have one other thing, too, the penalties. We've seen a crap ton of pre-snap penalties this preseason, and I would hope that doesn't bleed into this first game.
Don't like crap.
Just said the same thing. Pre-snap penalties.
Yeah. I if you don't mind, Keith, I have a question that also as well that goes into the show and what we're doing. So, out of all the players that are waived in the release, name one player that you want on the Broncos practice squad. Kenny, I'll go to you first. Of the players that have been waived and released.
Jackson, the receiver.
Courtney Jackson.
Yes.
Okay. Jody.
No.
Electric estimate, you could say it, Jody.
No, because I agreed with the take earlier on him. If Estime even gets the call to come back to this practice squad, why? You know where you sit, you know where you stand. Well, what are you doing? You're just wasting time. Go somewhere where you have a real shot. I mean, unless we have mass injury at running back, he's never going to see legit carries here. So do yourself a favor and go try to get yourself a playing time somewhere else. Bailey for me, just because we're so thin at linebacker. I don't think Reed can play. I mean, I don't feel good if it's Reed having to play middle linebacker there. At least Bailey's had snaps there. So,
all right. Thank you for taking Bailey. That allows me to free up and say Calvin Throckmorton, because that's a guy that I had making the 53, and I think that's a guy that should make this. We're not deep on that offensive line. We saw McGlinchey go down last year. We saw Bowles go down, if I remember right, for a game or two, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I remember correctly. I mean, we have enough questions on this offensive line, and if heaven forbid, knock, as we saw in the chat, Paul Schaefer, knock on wood. we don't have any injuries. But, man, I'm telling you what, Calvin Throckmorton I thought was one of the best-looking non-starters on the field throughout the preseason, bar none. If it wouldn't have been for Nick Gargiulo, I mean, Calvin Throckmorton now needs to swing right into the spot he once had.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, I would be Clay Webb. I really like Clay Webb. I had him making this 53-man roster. This is a guy that could have went high. I mean, I would say 6th rounder. He could have easily been a 6th rounder in this past year's draft. I think there's something there to develop there. You talk about guard, talk about Ben Powers. Could this be his last season in Denver? Well, you have a developmental guard that you can possibly keep on your practice squad this season. I would probably jump at that opportunity. I like Clay Webb back in Denver on their practice squad.
I got just one last thing I want to say before I get out of here. You guys can get some final words in, some goodbyes, whatever we want to do. We're about that time. But the one thing that does concern me, we just end up talking about it. We have J.K. Dobbins, we have R.J. Harvey, we have McLaughlin, we have Bidet, right? Mm-hmm. Not necessarily an all-star cast that has knocked it out of the park in this preseason, and not one that I feel like super reliant upon. It's the one reason when I was out there and I was scouring, I was looking for potentially another running back. Jody, I think you just brought in a great point. Why would Audric Estime come back? You're dang well right, but at the same time, I still feel like this is more open competition, especially without a just solid, strong number one jumping off the page in this preseason. We'll have to see how that work out, but it's one place I might look for in the waiver wire if I was out there that might be a little off schedule. Everyone's saying inside linebacker, tight end, fullback, maybe running back if the opportunity serves you right. If you see the right guy out there you like. Let's get some thoughts in and some final goodbyes. Jody, the judge, I'll start with you. We'll go around the horn, up and around. Trevor ending last.
Just stay healthy, keep preparing. I'm excited for next Sunday. Hope this offense comes out hot. It will shut up a lot of critics and a lot of noise that I am overhearing. Because it goes both ways. When Bo Nix was 10 for 11 against Green Bay and a touchdown, it's preseason versus backups. But then when they come out slow, it's the same thing. They're rusty. So just you can quiet the noise real quick, and you can quiet some of the noise that Sean Payton has created with this is a Super Bowl team. I feel that they are. We don't need to brag about it. Just show it on the field. You've got to come out strong these first 2 games, because week 3, 4, 5, 6 those are hard games, and you need to be 2-0 heading into LA.
That's the judge with the background award winner, by the way. If you didn't see that in the chat, you won that one, buddy. You won that one. Background award winner. Kenny, I don't want to say where you'd necessarily place for your Broncos background, but you're up next as far as saying goodbye and final.
We're working
I'm just giving you a bad time, my friend. Hey,
one of my friends owes me a green
hat.
Screen. The hat, yep. And one of my friends, we won't mention his name, owes me a green screen still. So once we get that green screen up here, we'll have some good Bronco backgrounds each week. So, no, great show, everybody. As always, the posse, you guys rocked it as always. Love you all. Thank you for the star givers. Week 1, we got a week off. Enjoy college football this week. College football is back. And week 1, I don't care if you win 7-6 Broncos. Just get that win. Week 1 is always a tough one because you got rust, like you said. It's going to be a rusty game. It's going to be a sloppy game, most likely on both sides of the ball. It's just how NFL is in the first couple of weeks. Just get out of there with a win. That's all that matters. Win the game, stay healthy, and move on to week 2. But we got a week off. Not us, but the Broncos have a week off. And we'll see Broncos week 1, 1 p.m. in 2 weeks on Sunday. So go Broncos. Enjoy your week. And next show will be Friday with Keith and Trevor. I'm sure they'll have a good one lined up for everybody.
We certainly will. Trevor, it's all up to you. You line up the great show. I'll just show up. Make sure it's planned out well. But before that, say some goodbyes. All right, buddy?
I will for sure. But I want to throw a point out, Keith. Running backs. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what this running back room can do. Come trade deadline, maybe the Denver Broncos are a little bit more open to trading for a running back if this running back room is not improved by then. But I mean, again, there's a lot of talented players that were waived. I mean, I can go down the list right now. You know, Caden Prescorn, players I like. Jordan Turner certainly could have, I think, had a real shot at making this roster. Lovell Bailey, Courtney Jackson, some of these other guys are gonna be on other rosters. Like, I don't think Sean Payton was lying about that. There's going to be some players on this that were waived today that are going to be on other rosters, I think, going forward, and then will be claimed. So looking forward to kind of seeing how that pans out over the next 24 hours or so, on how and if the Broncos make any more moves or not. I mean, again, full 53-man roster right now, so they'll have to make a move if they're going to go out there and claim anybody. But looking forward to kind of seeing how everything pans out and trickles on down. But want to thank the posse for being as amazing as they are tonight as well. Whether you're watching live or even after the show, we really appreciate it. And we'll be back Friday. Hope everybody has a great rest of your week. And as always, go Broncos.
Absolutely go Broncos. Mile high salute, Mr. Trevor Rocket Man Salzman. I'll tell you what, though, one thing I didn't do, man, I didn't say it enough. Like, share, subscribe. Kenny pointed out to me, man, you need to make – I cannot impose upon you enough how big a thumbs up does for us, how big a love, a wow, a care, a thumbs up or a like when you're over there on YouTube, whether you're, hey, man, if you want to like us and give us a star rating on our Apple Podcasts, on our Spotify, that'd be super sick. We'd love that too, man. We're everywhere, man. Check us out. I named them all: YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure you're giving us all the love, because we certainly love you. We love rocking out here on all the nights and all the days that we go live. Sometimes we have emergency podcasts. That's why you want to hit that notification button. It's important. Sometimes we switch up schedules. Sometimes we come out with brand new podcasts. That might be coming in the future. You don't want to miss one beat. We would love to have you along for the ride, but it's been a heck of a ride. We're going to get out of here for this evening. Hope you had a fantastic one, but we get out of here one way only. We keep boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and of course, Denver Broncos in our heart. Until next time, we're out of here. Have a great one, everybody.